The B word. Yep. We're talking about the B word some more, and it's not what you might be thinking. I don't know what you're thinking, but it's boundaries. And the virtual summit is almost here. I am so excited to be with my friend Darla. She spoke at one of the other summits. We've had just a great time. We are kindred spirits in a lot of ways. We teach very similar but different, and we've been on this journey together. And so when I was deciding who I wanted to really be a speaker at the summit, Darla was one of the people that came to mind. So I'm so glad it has worked out. Would you just introduce yourself just a little bit? I usually call it the superhero origin story, but whatever you feel comfortable with, just a couple minutes about you, and then we'll talk about boundaries and the summit.
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Darla Radilla, and I'm a self-love mentor. And my journey really just started in childhood. And what happened was I got involved in an abusive relationship with a narcissist. And that, while was a very difficult experience, it actually ended up being my wake-up call. So we did the gratitude effect last time. And so there's a lot of gratitude in that because what happened was as I was healing, I found that I wanted to help other women who had also experienced trauma and narcissistic abuse. And then, of course, over the past few months, that's been morphing into the whole self love because I realized the whole reason that I got involved in these relationships is because I didn't value myself. And I realized even more recently that I had everything together in my whole life. I now target high performing women because I had it together in my career. I ran C-level offices when it was an executive assistant for years, but when I get home, everything would fall apart. So that's me. Boundaries are my jam. So I'm super excited to be part of this.
Yeah, and our stories are similar around the self-love piece because I went from self-hate, and the way I acted out with self-hate was bad relationships and all kinds of things, one relationship after another, and they kept getting worse. And then I recognized, oh wait, there's one commonality in all this. And that's when I began working on me. And if you don't love yourself, you're not going, I'm repeating myself on purpose. This is not an editable moment. If you don't love yourself first, you will not be able to create the life of your dreams, the business of your dreams, because if you don't start with you, you're not going to be able to do anything else.
Mm.
So if you are in a place where you're like, oh, I think I love myself, or of course I love myself, you might want to reach out and connect because there's more for you. There's just more for you. All right. So boundaries. Let's talk about boundaries. The
Yes.
summit is coming up and it is free. You do have to RSVP though, and it's a simple form, your name, email, phone number. If you want to get text reminders after you hit submit, you're going to go in and do part 2, which is creating your free account in Safe Heart Connections. That's where we host the summit. That's where you're going to want to be. There's prizes, freebies, all kinds of stuff. That's where the summit will be hosted. So make sure you do that part as well. And man, I was looking at the list of the women that are participating this time and their summit talks and what's going to be happening. And I'm truly just blown away. Darla, thank you for being one of those women. And tell me, just don't give away what you're talking about at the summit, but share just one thought around boundaries that maybe get someone thinking, oh, this is something I might want to look into a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I think boundaries and self love go hand in hand because when we don't love ourselves, we don't set boundaries with others. Self self love is an act of boundaries without guilt. And I think as women, we give away so many pieces of ourselves. We're mothers, we're employees. In this stage in life, in midlife, we are also maybe taking care of parents. There's always something that society is asked to give us to give away. But I think for some reason, we tell ourselves we have to. And what I realized is that when I started to invest in myself first, which is a boundary, then I could fill my cup. One of my podcast guests, I love what she said, I give from my overflow. And I have followed that since. So thank you to her because she really awakened me. But yeah, I really want to talk about how having boundaries is important and it's okay. It's not selfish. And I don't think we can have healthy relationships with ourselves or others without them.
Yeah, it's so true. So the second summit that I hosted was actually self-love is not selfish. That was
Mhm.
the
Yep.
that was the first
Yep.
one. The first one was always be learning, then self-love is not selfish, and then the gratitude effect, and then now the B word. And so they all build on each other. And I believe that what you said, the overflow, I actually teach something called the overflow effect. My book that I wrote telling my story is called Living in Overflow. So whoever said that to you, we're kindred spirits as well, because
Yes.
if you try and give out of your cup, and even if you still got some in it and you're pouring
Mhm.
into somebody else, you're giving away something that's in reserve for you. And when you
Mhm.
give out of the overflow off the saucer of your life, then you can give in kind, loving, generous ways without depleting you and still have what you need. And if you want to take charge and be able to change the world, you have to start with you. You just have to. And yeah, and boundaries, I believe what you said is so true. You won't create boundaries unless you love yourself. And what boundaries would you create if you don't know who you are? So it's all interwoven in just a beautiful way. And yeah, I cannot wait for the summit and for all the growth that happens, connections that are made, and the healing. It's called healing one boundary at a time for a reason. So any final thoughts before we wrap up today, Darla?
Yeah, I would say if you're watching this and you're even the least bit curious, you have nothing to lose because it's a free event. Sign up and just see what comes up. Whether it's me or it's another speaker that just speaks to you, I can guarantee 30 plus women, someone's going to say something that's going to just really motivate you.
So many of the women have said that exact thing. And y'all have not been prompted. I just say any closing
No.
thoughts. And so many have said the same thing. And that's because we're all about the the collective voice of it. Doesn't really matter who the person hears the nugget from, but as long as the women are getting what they need and coming and learning and being able to heal. So Darla, thank you so much as always. I appreciate you and I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you. Yes. Awesome.